A man wanted to buy an apartment in New York City with BTC in 2015. In the show $1 Million Listing New York, you can follow 3 real estate brokers selling apartments in New York. What caught my eye is an episode where a man tries to buy an apartment with Bitcoin. It was in Season 4 Episode 10 where, during an apartment tour where one of the brokers, Ryan Serhant, gets offered Bitcoin for payment of the apartment. The apartment was listed for $13 million and the buyer wanted to pay the equivalent of Bitcoin. At that time it was about 50,000 Bitcoin. The broker was curious if it even was legal, but he presented the offer to the seller. Sadly for the seller, he wondered if the broker was crazy and waved that offer away. I can understand the seller, since Bitcoin wasn't as well known then and it would be a $13 million risk to accept the offer. But if the seller would have accepted and hodled for all these years, the Bitcoin would be worth $1.3 billion today, $3.4 billion at ATH. A nice little 100x gain over 8 years. Do you think it will be more common with real estate buys, sells, or other big transactions with Bitcoin? I think sellers will see it as a bigger risk, so you will probably have to pay a higher price if you want to pay in Bitcoin to calculate in the risk. Lol, to be fair, having 13 million in BTC that early does sound very sketchy. Guy was 100, a drug dealer on Silk Road. Guys, the show is scripted. Why do people make posts like this as if they mean anything? Even if the sale had gone through, the BTC would have been liquidated for USD instantly. Because why wouldn't it? During my last visit to Dubai, I noticed how common this was. A lot of real estate companies will accept crypto transactions. Moral of the story: if someone offers you 50k moons for an apartment, you better accept the shit out of that offer. Seller's face right now, clown face. Guy actually tried to use BTC as a currency, gotta commend that. I honestly don't think buying real estate with Bitcoin is going to be nothing more than a publicity stunt for the foreseeable future and won't become commonplace. Now he can buy 100 of them there. But NYC is really not the place you want to invest anything in right now. I understand that the seller does not want to take any chances, and he is right in my opinion. Maybe in future there will be posts about present time people selling BTC for comparatively tiny gains, and future generations will wonder why we didn't hold. I hope he continued to hold after this. Seller got pizza yummy face. I hope those who hold Bitcoin will get the same, and why not a bigger return after 8 years? Can't even imagine someone holding 50,000 Bitcoin unless they were a huge hedge fund. The buyer got away empty-handed that day, but now he could buy a Lambo, mansion, furniture, pay maids to clean the house every day, and then buy a cruise ship if he saved that amount until 2021. 13 million is still a ton of money. That's more than enough for one person for a lifetime. It's insane to think someone paying 50,000 BTC just to buy these overpriced apartments in New York. Even in 2015. I hope buyer was able to hodl these 50,000 BTC. That's a generational wealth right there. I'm going to buy a Lambo with moons. Hope he held, and now he can buy tens of apartments. I am a man and I want to buy an apartment in New York for 1,300 moons. They declined, but they'll be sorry. It is common nowadays. Check out this sub-R Bitcoin real estate. Why? Sadly for the seller. Why should he have held for 8 years? It's like sadly for you that you didn't buy 13 meters USD of BTC 8 years ago. I can't even do a mobile recharge in BTC due to the PTSD from BTC pizza story, and people here are buying a house skull and crossbones. What a loss, but who would have known it would eventually sit at the price it is now? A lot of people regret not accepting Bitcoin. I wouldn't even know where to spend that much money. Man, back then I wouldn't have sold my apartment for Bitcoin. I mean, the seller was parting with his asset in exchange for another asset that he deemed valuable, which wasn't the case with Bitcoin. The seller had no interest in converting his asset to another investment, which is fair. The seller wouldn't just hold that Bitcoin anyways. So any speculation about the cost it would have had later makes little sense. Do you think it will be more common with real estate buys, sells, or other big transactions with Bitcoin? Yes, it will be. I already see some on marketplaces that accept transactions using crypto. 8 years ago, I would not have dared to accept a large sum of BTC, but now I will. No, because deals of that magnitude have multiple parts, fees, etc. Paying for something like that with a historically volatile asset is taking on a lot of risk of the seller. And right now real estate is a massive seller's market. Fun fact: in Croatia, a couple bought brand new Ford vehicle with BTC in Ford dealership. It is true story. Oof, shoulda taken it. It's crazy how now you can buy an apartment with crypto in some countries. It sure is a thing in Dubai. Apparently he's in a WhatsApp group chat with the pizza guy. Seller's now telling stories to his grandchildren that he had 50k BTC offer in the past. Grimace. That is a crazy amount, man. 1.3 billion from a BTC. Wondering if that guy that wanted to buy it in BTC keeps it now. There are so many ifs in this story. 50k BTC would not be a gain. You're assuming they would have held for almost 10 years and not just sold it. We went from pizza to Lambo and then towards an apartment. I wonder what will be next. It's already happening that people buy real estate with BTC, but I would never. Accepting BTC for selling anything in 2010 is instant millionaire material. Blows my mind to think about that. Lily Allen back in 2009 offered 200k BTC to play a gig and turned it down. Nauseated face vomiting. I can only imagine. This feels like winning the lotto every month but always losing the ticket. Open mouth smile. It was a gamble then and it would still be a gamble now even if BTC is more popular. People will be offering to buy with BTC when the price is in the next bull run. Seller now kicking himself every night before he falls asleep thinking about what could have been a wonderful story. I sold my apparently for 50k Bitcoin in 2015. They were trying to sell a property, not invest long in Bitcoin. Would be hard to justify receiving 13 million in BTC even today. I think even today one would not be too keen to accept such offers. If you think about it, would you be open to selling your apartment for a specific amount only to wake up tomorrow morning and find out you lost half the money overnight? Bit of an exaggeration, of course, but you get the point. The seller must have insane regret. The buyer must feel so glad the seller refused. In 2015, while we were wasting time and money, this man was trying to buy real estate with BTC. I'm more curious how the person who made that offer is doing today. Is he relaxing on his island?